Oh, hi. I'm Jen, and welcome to my studio. And today I'm going to talk about the fact that I'm still performing. So, if you saw a previous vlog, you'll know I'm injured right now. It's not going to take me too long to heal from it, but it does overlap some gigs. So, am I performing? Yes, I'm still doing these gigs, but I wanted to explain what that means. So, when I saw my knee specialist, he was like, I'm not going to tell you not to do these gigs, like, because you're going to do these gigs. Like, I know you. And I'm like, hee hee, you're right. Um, but he said, change the way you perform, and you'll still be able to rest your knee. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. And so we kind of talked about it. And one of the cool things is that my company, Noise Complaint, functions a little bit differently from other dance companies. And that means like we don't just like do a show where we dance and maybe we show like a film or something, but mostly it's just dance. Noise Complaint is actually a theater company, so we do tap dance theater. I get dressed up in costume, I play a character, and instead of singing, I tap dance. That's kind of how it works. It's like a musical, but instead of all the characters singing, we kind of tap dance to music, and that like moves the story along in the same way as singing in a musical would. So I said I actually have the perfect way to keep performing, and I wanted to talk to you guys about that because there's a lot to that. Um, I can't use my leg right now, right? Like my leg is like off limits. Don't use that. Don't put any pressure on it. It's I okay. I can walk. Let me be clear. I can walk, but no impact. So, tap dance is impact. For the most part, any kind of dancing I would be doing in my company has impact on my knee. So, that's a no go. But there's actually way more that I can do in order to still perform. So, my company has, as I'm filming this, my company has a show in 7 days. And yeah, 7 days from now, and I'm still going to be performing at it. I'm still playing the same characters that I always play in my video game show. I'm still Noobity Doo, the world's best gamer. And in the Avengers show, I'm still Captain America. I'm still going to be able to say all of my lines. I'm still going to be able to participate in every single song to help move the story along. And I'm still going to be able to do some movement. So let me explain what I mean. Our shows have acting and comedy and all kinds of stuff in it. So my character, let's go with the Avengers show. Captain America has a lot of lines. Like he's Captain America. So like I have a lot of lines. It's mostly me and Sean arguing because he plays Tony Stark. So we just argue the whole time. And if I'm able to be there and still say all the lines that I need to say, then we don't need to change the storyline or teach someone all of my parts, you know? Like, we're a small company. We can't really have that many understudies for every single part, you know? And since I never miss a show, I've never needed an understudy before. But here I am. Should have planned this better, I guess. But yeah. So I'm still going to be saying all of my lines, and I'm still going to be participating in the story and in the comedy moments and all that. Captain America will be there to lead his Avengers. Um, but there's more that I'll still be able to do. It's not like I'll just say my lines and then leave stage. That doesn't make any sense because that's like if you're watching, I'm really bad with musicals, but like let's say you're watching a musical and the main character comes on to do the talking, but every time people start singing they walk away and they're not present. It doesn't quite work. So I had to find a way to participate in the dances themselves, the things that we do. Like we're a tap dance company, right? So the pieces of the show that make us who we are, but also really move the storyline along. And this is something that I've been working on for a while. So I'm not just jumping into it with 7 days, like 7 days to learn how to play the drums. I'm playing drums on stage. So even though I can't use my legs to do the rhythms, I'll be able to do a lot of the rhythms or at least drum along with the songs while everyone else is dancing. So we have we've sort of been planning this for a few years, not planning for me to get injured, but planning for the need to bring in live instrumentation for a few reasons. One, because it makes the show cooler, and two, because some of us are getting a little older. As some of you on this channel know, I'm 40 and Sean is 41, and a couple of other members are between the ages of 31 and 38, I think. So, yeah, some of us are, it's getting a little more difficult to dance as hard as we always have. So, knowing that we want to do this for years and years and decades to come, we've started to think about how to incorporate instrumentation into the show so that when I get hurt or heaven forbid I reach an age where I can no longer tap the way that I'm usually doing, I can still be a part of the company, still be a part of the show on stage as a drummer. So that's what my plan was for me, is to transition from tap dancing to drumming as my body starts needing more of one than the other. We have a plan to incorporate that for Sean on the instrument that he plays. I have to teach a couple of the others how to play an instrument in order to make this happen, but I can teach Panda how to play the bass, and Alex, I think, knows how to play the keys. I'm pretty sure. But maybe they'll pick up drumming too. I don't know. But I guess I'll be the guinea pig, and I'm going to be joining a full show as a drummer next week for the first time ever. And am I nervous? Absolutely. Do I have 7 days to figure out all the parts? Yeah. At least I already know how to drum, though. So there's that, because you cannot learn how to drum in 7 days. It's not well anyway. So I'm taking the advice of change the way you perform, and I'm running with it. I'm taking it and running with it, because I can still perform somewhat like I used to, in that I can still act, I can still do the comedy, I can still do all the skits. And instead of tap dancing, I'm joining in on a different instrument. And hopefully it's a harmonious inclusion and doesn't provide any problems. But as anyone who is a Noise Complaint fan knows, there's always problems. So there's always issues. I'm going to get there and then the sound check's not going to work. And we have the worst luck with logistics. It's so funny. But what makes us really strong as a company is that we get through it all together. I have a video on some of the worst stage moments ever in my career on this channel. Look for one of my vlogs. It's in the vlog playlist. It's like stage horror stories, and most of them are Noise Complaint. So if you've seen that video, you know what I'm talking about, like with the guy walking away with his sound system, or the stage being held together by zip ties and stuff. We've had some interesting moments in our careers, but the other thing that I'm going to be able to do is mild to zero impact choreography. So let's say in the Avengers show, there is one dance that we do that's a little more jazzy. It doesn't actually have any tap in it. It's actually just it's less of a dance and more of a skit, I want to say. It's where the storyline turns from very serious to all of a sudden you realize we're a comedy show. And in that, there's a little bit of jazz. I want to say 30 seconds of choreography that's very jazzy. It's got a kick line in it. This Saturday at rehearsal, I'll be modifying, or I guess today at rehearsal. Today is Saturday. Later today, I'll be modifying that choreography to not include any jumps or any turns so that I can still be able to do that choreography, because that's a pivotal moment where Captain America realizes that things aren't quite right. And if I'm not doing that dance, there would be no way for Captain America to really fully understand, oh wait, things are not quite right. You'd have to see the show to understand what I'm talking about, but my whole crew is on board. They're ready to modify some things for me. Everyone's really stepping up, and I'm very proud. And that has to happen in a company too. If one person gets hurt or can't come to a show for some reason, everyone's got to come together to make sure that the show still happens to the highest caliber that it can. I remember one time one of my dancers couldn't come to the show because they had a family emergency, and we all just pulled together, and everyone had to learn new parts like within 3 days notice, but we did it, and it was a really, really good show, and I'm still so proud of everyone. I remember saying on stage at the end of the show, I told the audience, very transparent, like, all these dancers learned all these dances in such a short amount of time, and I'm so proud. And it was just really nice to be able to like let the audience know how hard everyone worked. And they liked getting to see that behind the scenes moment, you know? So there's another dance in the video game set that we do. We have to do a bunch of Fortnite dances. It's like a little jazzy choreography that has the Fortnite dances. There's tap dancing happening, and then on the side, there's these Fortnite dances that my character has to learn in order to move on to the next stage. I write the scripts for all of our shows, and they're very like, I don't know, they're very linear, and you have to get through one part to get to the next. And in order to get to the next stage, I have to learn these Fortnite dances, and I roll my eyes as my character. I'm like, really? But like, it makes it funny for us to do. So if I'm not doing those dances, it's going to be slightly problematic. So I'm going to modify that choreography. I only need to modify it like just a little bit. I just can't do what is it called? I think that the shoot? I don't know. You take your arm and it goes like this, and your leg does the same thing. Help. If you know what move that is, just like write it down in the comments. I cannot remember. I think it's called the shoot. I think. I don't remember. But I also do the Running Man, so I'm going to have to pick a different Fortnite dance from like my individual dance. I'm obsessed with the Running Man. But yeah. So I'll not be able to do the Running Man, and I'll have to pick a different Fortnite dance to do. But that's okay. There's a million to choose from. I'll probably just like do the Carlton, or like, I don't know, do they do the sprinkler? I don't know like what's a Fortnite dance. But I'll ask my video game playing younger members, and they will be able to tell me. I play a lot of video games, but Fortnite is not one of them. So I'm a total noob when it comes to Fortnite, and I don't know anything about the dances, but I studied them to make the choreography, and I don't remember what's what or who's doing what. So I'll have to say, just somebody give me a Fortnite dance that doesn't involve any jumping or turning, and hopefully they will. So, but yeah, acting and mild, no impact choreography and drumming. Like, there are so many different ways that I can still be a part of the show, even if I can't dance. Now, I'm going to wear a brace. I'm going to make sure that I don't overdo it. I'm going to make sure that I don't extend my rest time, because any amount of impact that I put on it does extend the rest time. So I know that I have to be careful, and I'm not telling you that if you're injured, you should still perform. I'm just giving ideas on how to, if you're like me and you're like a major player in a dance company and you have to perform in order for the show to like make any sense. I don't know if anybody else is in this position, but tap dancers are hard to find. Tap dancers who also act and are willing to do improv comedy are incredibly hard to find. So it's not like I have a whole lot of like understudies to pull from, and everybody in Noise Complaint already has their own parts that they need to play, and not everybody's doing this gig. We're actually working on a skeleton crew this weekend as well. So it's, I want to say, bad timing for me to get hurt, but at the same time, when is it a good time, right? So I'm not saying that you have to find a way to perform when you're hurt. If you're hurt, rest. Like, end of discussion, rest. But sometimes we need to get creative and need to figure out how I can still be a part of my show. And luckily, I foresaw the need for this 5 or 6 years ago and decided to take up drumming. And that has really saved the show a little bit. Just to have that option for me to still be there and still like lead the show, especially from the drum kit. I have quite a lot of power in leading the show and making sure that my dancers stay on time and have me to follow, even if they aren't following like my feet or anything. I'm still there. I'm still the leader, and they still have me to look to for all the things that you look to a leader for. So I feel like I'm not abandoning them, you know? And I know that I could go and sit in the audience and still be there for them, but I don't know if anybody else feels the same as me, but it is just hard to go and watch people do what you want to be doing. Like, it's hard. I don't know that I can fully do that. Like, do you ever have to go to class when you're hurt and you have to sit out and watch class? It is torture. It's awful, and I'm bad at it. I'll fully admit that. I did have to back out of one show this weekend. I wasn't allowed to drum. The show is tomorrow, actually, but I did have to back out of that. And the girls are like, "Oh, are you still gonna come to the show?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know that I can go and not dance." And I know it sounds like weird, but I feel like I would get up and try to dance, and that may not be a good idea. And Sean may say, "No, you're not going because I don't trust you not to get up and dance." I'm so bad at resting. Anybody else? Write in the comments if you're like me and you're just the absolute worst at resting. So, but hopefully this gives you guys some ideas on how you can still take part in a show if at the last minute you're unable to. Another way to take part in a show, if you're lucky enough to have someone that can take your place, is work with that person and help them learn the part. Again, it's not very fun to watch somebody else dance your part, but if that's what has to happen because you have a broken foot or you have an injury that you literally cannot dance, you cannot get on stage, there's no way that you can get up there at all, the show has to go on. And so one of the best things that you can do is say, okay, I will work with my replacement and make sure that they are ready for this show. Because that benefits the show and you when you are able to step back into that spot. And it really helps that person who is taking their time and effort and heart and soul to step into your role at usually a last minute, and being grateful to that person by helping them is probably the best thing that you can do. With the band that I dance for, one of the dancers, I wanted to say, like, sprained her ankle or broke something or tore something in her ankle about a month and a half before the show. And she stepped up and helped the person that I found to dance in her place this year. She came to rehearsals and helped her learn those parts. She gave her critiques, she gave her tips, and she was welcoming and just really grateful that someone was there to dance in her place because she couldn't. And that was just the most heartwarming thing and the sweetest thing. And I know that we talk about a lot of animosity and cattiness in the dance world, but sometimes it's just not there. And it's up to you to make sure that it's not there if it's your injury that is causing someone else to have to come in. I hope I said that correctly. I feel like I just like went around in circles with my words, but if you're the one who's injured and somebody has to dance in your place, it is your responsibility to make sure that the animosity doesn't start, because it can only start from you. And this dancer had no hard feelings whatsoever about not being able to dance. She even came to the show and showed her support and came up on stage with me and danced without being on her foot at the end of the show, and just really supportive. So it's up to all parties to be supportive and humble and just helpful to each other. And so that's another way that you can still be a part of the show. You just take a different role in the show. You say, all right, maybe I don't get to be on stage, but I'm going to be part of the reason that this person does a really good job on stage. And that's really important too. So I know being injured is not fun. Trust me, I'm feeling this. It's not fun. And hopefully in my creative searching, finding content for this channel, these videos are helpful to any of you that are dealing with an injury, or maybe in the future, if I hope that you never get hurt, but like if it ever happens, you can turn to these videos for some ideas as far as like how to stay on stage, stay in the game, and also look for ways to be helpful outside of the stage. So hopefully this video was helpful, and yeah, and stay healthy, y'all. But yeah, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button and join the Tap fam. We've got choreography tutorials, step tutorials, vlogs like this, and challenges and all kinds of stuff. So make sure that you subscribe and hit the thumbs up, because we're supportive of dance. We're supportive of dancers and dance and anyone who's on stage and off stage. So hit the thumbs up for support. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay healthy. And I promise I'm resting. I absolutely promise. And as always, thank you for dancing with me.